Hey guys, Rap PhD here, and today we're going to be making a bone meal farm. Bone meal farms are super awesome in the newest update because they're actually infinite. So you just put in a little bit of bone meal to start, and you have bone meal for the rest of your world play. One thing I'll note is I'm going to put the resources in the description, but make sure that when you use your building blocks, you can use just about anything you'd like. Just do not use cobblestone for the building blocks. They actually will interfere with how the moss grows with the bone meal, and it'll completely counteract the farm. So let's get this started. So to start this farm off, we're going to place a double chest with a hopper going into it. We're going to take our droppers and do 2 facing upwards and 1 dispenser on top of it. Now what's really important here is that the dispensers and the droppers are in the same spot. Let's remember the dispensers actually will consume the items, so if you have bone meal, it'll use the bone meal, and droppers will just drop it. So when you build this farm, if the bone meal starts shooting out of the moss block, which you'll see later, then you know that you actually put the dispensers and the droppers in the wrong order. And so just go ahead and replace the dispensers with droppers, and you shouldn't have any problems. So the last thing you're going to want to do here when you have this dispenser and these 2 droppers placed is you're going to want to fill the dispensers with bone meal at the top. This is a common problem you may run into later. If the farm is not working, make sure you put bone meal inside of the dispenser at the top, and make sure everything's loaded with bone meal because that is kind of the core of the farm. So you have your temporary building block. We're going to go 1 like this, 1 like this, 1 like this, and then 1 in the corner like this. We're going to take a redstone comparator. We're going to place it like this. You want the side with 1 dot facing the smooth stone block that I have. We're going to place redstone just like this. And we're going to grab a redstone torch and place it right here. So now we need to actually place the observer to get this thing fired up. So we're going to place a block right here. We're going to go up like this with 3 blocks. We're going to break the one in the middle, and we're going to place an observer just like this. Make sure you're below the block because we want the observer to face up. As you can see here, the observer is facing up. It looks like this little smiley face, weird face thing on it, and that's how you know you placed it upright. So the next thing we're going to do here is going to place the hoppers that actually move the bone meal along in this farm and make it self-sustaining. So we're going to place 1 hopper going into this dropper, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to place 1 out like this. So we have 6 hoppers total. Now we're going to grab our composters. We're going to go right on top of these, just like this. Once we have these hoppers placed and the composters, we're going to place 2 composters right here. We're going to go 2 on this side with smooth stone, 3 on this side. And now you have something that looks like this. Now we're going to build some redstone behind this observer. So we're going to go build out 1 like this. Then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now that we have this thing built right here, we're going to grab our repeaters. We're going to make a repeater coming out of this block. We're going to place this to 2 ticks. We're going to go out 1 with redstone, a comparator, redstone, redstone, comparator, redstone. And you have this little comparator loop here with this repeater. It's very important to make sure this repeater is set to 2 ticks, by the way. Once we have this redstone here built, we're going to build a little staircase type thing. So like this, 1, 2, and then 1 up like this. And we're going to go redstone, redstone repeater, redstone torch. Once we have this built, we're going to take the smooth stone on top of it, the redstone torch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to run redstone across the top. At this point, if the redstone lights up, you know you did something right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to step down here. So we got 1 all the way across. We're going to do this again right here. And we're going to block entirely around this observer and this dropper. I mean dispenser, sorry. So now we should have something that looks like this. So now we're going to block on top of it like this. Pay close attention on this other side when I get there where I'm placing these blocks, because it's very important to actually for this farm to start. So right here, we're going to go just like this. And like this. And then on top of this moss block, on top of this dropper, we're going to put moss block. On top of this observer, we're going to put stone, and it should look something like this. So now you're going to need furnaces. So we're going to go 1 block right here, 1, 2, 3, 1 block here, and then 1, 2, 3, and it should look something like this. So now around this collection container, we're going to block around it. So we're going to go one like just like this. It should look just like that. The next part's going to be to block out like this. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now that we have something looking like this, we're going to go across this line right here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can put a block right here to differentiate the stone if you want. So I'm going to put polished amosite, and I'll put this over here too, so you guys can visualize it better. We're going to put pistons across like this. Not sticky pistons, by the way, just normal pistons. So the next thing we're gonna do is going to get glass out and line the outside of the walls up here. So you're just gonna go right across like this. The glass is not important on top of the pistons. You can put it there if you'd like, but it's not essential at all. So you should have glass looking just like this. And actually, I said glass is not required in the pistons. Well, let's go ahead and put it there anyways, because I actually believe it might be. So we're going to get slabs out now of whatever type you'd like to use. I'm going to use smooth stone slabs, and we're going to put slabs around like this. Now this is the part where the slabs are not necessary above the pistons. You guys can do whatever you like, but I'm not going to put slabs there. I think I missed a block over here. This is not important. It's just better for aesthetics. So we should have something looking like this now. So now you're going to need a water bucket, and you're going to need your glass out. We're going to put water over here in the pistons in the middle, and we're going to put glass right here. The next thing we're gonna do is grab lava buckets. We're gonna need 6 of them total. We're gonna place them on the glass like this. And this will create a stone generator that you'll see how it works in just a second. So the next thing we're gonna do is gonna come over here with trapdoors. You can use whatever type you like again. And we're gonna line them up just like this. And then we're going to take water, and I already have that out, and we're going to line it behind the trapdoors. Just like that. Should look just like this. You're gonna want to put water down here in the corners of this collection chamber. And the last thing you're gonna do is you're gonna come over here by these pistons and grab your building blocks, and we're going to do something just like this. So we're gonna go, and actually this piston right here is not necessary. You're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you're gonna do this. It's gonna look just like that. And you're gonna put 1 block right here. We're gonna want to get levers out then, redstone, and repeaters. You're gonna put a lever right here. You're gonna run the redstone just like this into repeaters like this. And these repeaters you're gonna set the ticks a little bit differently. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one you're gonna set to 2 tick. Okay, and the last thing you're gonna do here is you're gonna put a redstone torch down, and it's gonna start this whole thing up. Now, you're going to want to add bone meal onto these droppers, and you can add as little as much as you want to start with, but it's really important that you go down here and this one right here. You're going to add some bone meal to this dropper, and it'll get things going. Now that everything's started up, you can see that the farm is actually working. So how this farm works is we have a stone generator right here that's pushing stone into this. And we have this moss block here with bone meal hitting it, and it's actually creating more moss block. So when the pistons push the stone into the moss block, it breaks the moss. And as you can see, we have a bunch of moss here. So the next thing that happens is the water pushes this moss down here into these composters and turns the moss into bone meal. And this will continue to recirculate the bone meal, and it'll actually create a lot more bone meal than it uses. So that's why this farm is so efficient, because you can leave this running for hours and it requires no additional bone meal once you started. So yeah, this is the farm, guys. If you liked what you saw here, if you could subscribe, that means a lot. Follow, share the channel. Whatever, leave this video a like. I really appreciate you guys, and if you have any questions or comments or problems, please let me know. You join the Discord server, ask in the comments. I'm more than welcome to help anyone who's having problems with this farm. Thank you so much, and have a great day. So for those of you guys that are interested in a time lapse, I'm going to leave a time lapse in the video. I'm going to leave for about 5 or 6 minutes. I'm going to come back and show you guys how much bone meal we actually have left. So coming here after about 5 or 6 minutes, you can see we have a few stacks of bone meal in here, and we can see that we actually have more bone meal inside of these droppers in the dispenser. So that's the whole point of this farm, is that it's going to recirculate the bone meal, and every few bone meal will get placed in the chest, and then the rest of it's going to go back into the dispensers and recycle it. And that's what makes this self-sustaining and infinite. So this will probably get you several hundred bone meal an hour, I would guess, maybe 10 stacks an hour, and it's a great way to farm bone meal for free, especially AFK and pretty much every edition of Minecraft. One thing to note for this farm is that there's a couple problems that can occur, and that can actually cause the farm to get stuck. If for whatever reason you see no pistons moving and no moss being grown, make sure you have a moss block and make sure it's placed in the right spot. You can see I have these indicator blocks on both sides between these pistons to show where the moss block should always be. If there's not a moss block there, you have a problem. So that's the first thing. The second thing is if the farm's not actually working, it means that the observer is not observing any movement. And if we remember correctly, there's an observer right here underneath this block. So that being said, if the farm is not going, we need to break these two blocks right here. And you can break more than that if you want. But basically, when we break those blocks again, the observer is going to start observing the movement, and you can see here that the farm starts firing up again. So that's one common problem. Now, the second problem is if you run out of bone meal. Now, for whatever reason, if this happens, maybe you take too much bone meal out, or you know, it runs out of bone meal because you didn't start it with enough bone meal. Just make sure that this dispenser underneath has bone meal inside of it. You can just break this block right here and place more bone meal inside of it, and that should restart the farm. And like I said, if you put more bone meal in there and it's not starting again, come up here, break these blocks right here, especially this one on top of this observer, place another block there, and you can see it starts the farm up again.